Goeiemiddag mense. Alright, this morning it looked nice and green. Now it's looking a little bit pale again because it's after 12 o'clock. It's the middle of the day. So yeah, autumn is definitely setting in. We've got nice cool mornings and evenings, but during the day it's still sitting between, like yesterday was 28 degrees Celsius in the middle of the day. But from tomorrow, our high in Pretoria is only 15. So that's a significant drop in one day. And it will be cold until I think Monday or Tuesday. Then next week it's a bit of a thing again. So I'm going to raise my heart of cut today. Just having a look at it from this side, you can tell things definitely picked up a little bit after this last fertilization session that I did now. I'm quite happy with the growth. It's hard to tell on camera, but I can see that there's significant growth even in these last few days. Today's Thursday, if I didn't mention it. Now the heart of cut increase doesn't just come from the fact that I know that it's autumn. It's because of this as well. I can start seeing the little tracks that my dog, my tiny little Dachshund, manages to form. So if he has started causing damage on the lawn, it's an indication that things are becoming a little bit more stressful for the turf. You can tell things are dry again, even though we had a pretty good start to autumn as far as rain goes. March was horrible, but yeah, that line, that's the reason they're going to increase the heart of cut. And as you can tell, this Witstinkhout has already started its nonsense. But because the sun has changed position, it would help me for this guy to just shed a little bit quicker than it usually does. It'll do me a favor because then I can get sunlight down here in the mornings. Because during the morning, the shade, I'll try and put in a snippet, the shade is the majority of the yard coming from this end. Okay, so let's go and adjust Frankenstein from 11 to 16 mils. It's about a 40% increase. I know it's only 5 mil difference, but it's 40% taller, roughly, than what I was mowing at. So it's actually quite a significant increase. The taller your grass is, the less significant that becomes, i.e. less stress. So me mowing short is a more stressful thing, which is then an accomplishment. If you can keep a really green turf, green looking, especially on camera, when it's that short, it's a good indication that you're doing the right stuff. Anyway, let's go set that guy up. Alright, so there you would have seen that I just reset Frankenstein's heart of cut up to 16 mils, and I just checked blade to bed knife contact, which is obviously perfect. And remember, by perfect, it must be completely free spinning. It must almost not sound like it's making any contact with the bed knife at all, but but still cut. That's an indication that if you're not getting that right, then you're having to over tighten. You're possibly in need of a grind. In most circumstances though, if you're on top of your cylinder mower maintenance, just a backlap like I did just this last weekend on Frankenstein is perfect. Remember, you never want to over tighten your reel, even if it's not making a perfect cut, like not a clean cut, but a little bit of a frayed cut on that paper. You must remember paper is quite thick actually. It's not like cutting a blade of grass. So if you over tighten, when that reel starts spinning against friction, the bed knife heats up to an extent that it starts to expand, and it actually makes it tighter. So by you just backing off a little bit, you're actually doing yourself a favor. Don't over tighten your cylinders ever. If you find that you're over tightening, it is absolutely time for maybe a backlap, but probably a grind. And the downside to grinding is that you wear through your reel much faster than if you backlap. Alright, so let's get these leaves cleaned up quickly. We'll do the edges and then we'll get Frankenstein onto the lawn. I must say, that little area at the back there with the Bermuda barely took anything off there, but as soon as you come into the Kikuyu section, taking off a reasonable amount of matter. So it shows you the Bermuda, and the LM, I can tell from the front as well, has definitely slowed down rate of growth significantly, but the Kikuyu is still going full steam. Back to mowing. All that mowing didn't even fill up one bin, so yeah, there's not much to take off. But yeah, how's that? Not bad for the striping. I made a boo-boo though. I don't know if you can pick it up. If you do, put it in the comments. But yeah, pretty good stripe. I'm quite happy with the result, and mowing at 16 mils, I could go over this 2 or 3 times and I'm not scalping at all because it's barely taking off anything. So I think I'll leave it at 16 mil for a little while longer. Let's see what it looks like on this side. Okay, cool. Yeah, that looks a little bit better on this end. Nice dense stripe. The double is actually now the dark one on this end because of just how the light moves or works or is positioned, where the sun is positioned. But yeah, looking quite alright. Relatively straight lines. And then yeah, I've got a boo-boo. Yeah, there you can see the boo-boo quite easily, but whatever, it still looks nice. Now obviously with the cold front coming in tomorrow, I might, and you might, see some kind of a negative impact over the next few days. But as soon as things warm back up again, you're going to get a bit of bounce back. And that's how us guys in the sort of cold regions like Joburg and Pretoria, gets chilly over winter. It's not like Durban, which is just warm the whole bloody time. You can piggyback off of these warmer periods, and that's what's going to help you keep greener for longer. Again, I'll reiterate. The reason that most half-out guys see their grass going dormant now, sort of late April, May, is not from the temperature. It is from the lack of water, the lack of rainfall. Now, apparently we are supposed to be getting, the sort of nicest rainfall in autumn that we've seen in years, but so far March was horrendous. It was less than a third of what we normally get, per March. For the last 20 odd years, the average has been 3 times higher than that. But we did already start off April in 2 days we got half of what we normally get for the entire month of April. So if we get a few more rainy sessions, which I think we're going to, then April will actually turn into a good rain season. If it does, most of you half-alt guys will end up by default seeing a little bit of a greener grass for a bit longer. But that also might mean that winter itself might be quite cold, and that might onset your temperature-related dormancy. Okay, so I didn't exactly do the right thing by mowing in the middle of the day, because now it's turned out to be quite hot. So I think that I've put the grass under a bit of stress. What I'll do is just come back out a little bit later on this afternoon, sometime during editing of this video, and we'll just see how it's looking. It should start to perk back up again a little bit later as things start to cool down a bit, and then maybe I'll water it tonight or tomorrow morning. Alright, it's a little bit later in the afternoon, 5:30 in fact. Sun's on the way down and it's looking much nicer. The grass definitely did see some negative impact from being mowed in the middle of the day, so I don't advise that. Try and mow first thing in the morning, or like now, a little bit later in the afternoon when it's out of that pressure from the heat of the day. Anyway, hope you found that useful. Please like, subscribe, share this with your buddies, and we shall see you on the next one. Cheers.